Nick Saban has given a huge shout out to Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin in one stat in particular, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Columbus Football 365. Guys, only 3.6% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button if you're an Ohio State football fan. But let's jump right into the news. On college football game day, Nick Saban was asked who is the best quarterback in college football. He talked about Fernando Mendoza, talked about Dante Moore, and then he gave a special shout out when he said Ohio State's quarterback Julian Sayin is completing 80% of his passes right now. Nobody else has done that. Nick Saban then continued to say that he was, a little bit biased when he said, he's my guy. We recruited him to Alabama. I love the guy. But the former Alabama coach might be right, and it's because he understands what Ohio State is asking its quarterback to do, which was apparent in Saturday's win at number 17 Illinois. So Nick Saban was talking about Julian Sayin's very high completion percentage and talking about why this is one of the stats that makes him one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football. After this was said before the Illinois game, after the Illinois game, Julian Sayin's completion percentage dropped a little bit farther down to about 78%, but still good for number one in the country. Some of the other quarterbacks right now in the area of Julian Sayin when it comes to completion percentage, the numbers aren't on the screen, but the other guys are in the mid to low 70 percentage. Number 2, Carlos Del Rio Wilson out of Marshall. Then we have DeMond Williams Jr., the very talented quarterback out of Washington, who Ohio State saw a couple weeks ago. That win is looking better and better every single week for Ohio State, as Washington has not yet dropped another game. They are either 4-1. I believe they're 4-1 or 5-1. Their only loss coming to us. They are not ranked, but they are receiving votes in the college football polls. They're currently the number 28 team in the ranking. So that win is looking better and better each and every week for Ohio State. Number 4, another Big Ten quarterback, Dylan Raiola from Nebraska, very highly touted recruit. If you pay attention to Big Ten football, you know all about Dylan Raiola. And then at number 5 is Carson Beck, the transfer from Georgia over to Miami, leading the number 2 ranked Miami Hurricanes. But number 2 is not as good as number 1, and that is where Julian Sayin and the Ohio State Buckeyes are currently ranked. This team looking like an absolute war wagon. Can't wait to see how this team continues to develop, continues to work out. But earlier this season, people were talking about, honestly, myself included, how Julian Sayin needed to develop and we were going to start him off and make it, stuff easy on him. And that's part of why his completion percentage is as high as it is. It's a combination of the scheme not being very difficult combined with having Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. And I'm huge on the NFL draft. Carnell Tate, I thought he was going to be like in that Ladd McConkey range of draft pick where he's going to be taken like 34th overall, a really, really high second round pick. But every single week, he looks more and more like a first round pick. And I think in a weaker draft class, I think Carnell Tate is a lock for the first round of the NFL drafts, and I can't wait to see him get drafted there because people forget how talented Carnell Tate is because they all get excited about Jeremiah Smith, where it's easy to get excited about Jeremiah Smith, but everyone talks about how Carnell Tate is significantly larger in person, and you don't realize just how big the dude is when you're watching him on the football field. But when you're standing next to him on the sidelines, you go, wow, this is a big guy, and that makes sense. He was a very, very highly touted recruit. One of the things that gets you highly recruited and highly ranked as a recruit is being a bigger person. It's really tough to figure out. When it comes to college recruiting, it's hard to gauge the talent level on the other side of the field, so one of the big things guys look for is, the height, the weight. But back to Julian Sayin, he's absolutely ripping it up, and his development is looking really, really good. He's developing even better than Ohio State fans could have realistically asked for. We could have always hoped it was going to look this good, but we could not have asked for this. It would have been unfair to put this sort of expectation on a quarterback as young as Julian Sayin is. Just one little fun fact about Julian Sayin. He was originally committed to Alabama, where he was recruited by Nick Saban himself. After Nick Saban retired, Kalen DeBoer from Washington took over that Alabama job. He walks in, he mispronounces Julian Sayin's name, and then Julian Sayin hits the transfer portal and comes to an even better team in the Ohio State Buckeyes. Currently, Alabama's got a pretty good quarterback in Ty Simpson. Personally believe that Julian Sayin is better because Julian Sayin doesn't take ridiculous sacks the way Ty Simpson does. But, you know, I'm sure both franchises, both programs right now, very excited with who their starting quarterback is. I can tell you for a fact, Ohio State fans are thrilled with Julian Sayin. People like to forget that this guy was an extremely highly rated recruit coming out of high school, and he is living up to that ranking. He's only 6'2". He's not like that Drew Aller 6'5" monster, but very, very good arm strength. Very, very, very solid player overall. Just, looking at the rankings one more time when it comes to completion percentage, love to see Ohio State at the top. One of the reasons, like I said, was the scheme makes it easier on Julian Sayin, but really, you gotta give props to Brian Hartline. Ohio State was one of the many top schools that were rolling out an untested quarterback, someone without a lot of reps in the college game. And when we were starting out with an elite defense like Texas, I know they're ranked really, really low or not ranked at all or wherever they are, they still have an elite defense. Texas is phenomenal. And Julian Sayin was able to do enough in his first ever start to get that win. And he's only looked better and better and better. And this Ohio State team has looked so good that they are humongous favorites against the Wisconsin Badgers in this game for this weekend. It's going to be at 3:30. Wisconsin is a 25.5 point underdog. This line originally opened at 27.5, which means the movement towards Wisconsin, them getting less points now, means that money is being bet on the Wisconsin Badgers. I don't know why you would want to bet on Wisconsin when they lost either 37 or 27-0 against Iowa last weekend. Ohio State, a lot better than Iowa. Julian Sayin, significantly better than Iowa quarterback Mark Gronowski, who is actually transferred from FCS, which I love to see. Love to see the FCS guys work out on the big stage on the FBS level. But what's crazy is Ohio was a comparable favorite like this Ohio State was a similar favorite monetarily wise against Ohio. So the fact that they are installing another Big Ten team as this large of an underdog just speaks to how much faith these sports odds makers have in the Ohio State Buckeyes. It all comes from the offense flowing amazingly with the way that Julian Sayin has progressed and the elite weapons around him. Haven't shouted out Brandon Inniss, the Ohio State Buckeyes number 3 wide receiver. He's another guy that every single time you mention this offense, you got to talk about Brandon Inniss as well, our 3rd wide receiver. Running backs, Bo Jackson looking like he's going to be our number 1 running back going forwards. I do like Bo Jackson. It's hard to get super excited about the running backs this year when we are 1 year removed from Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, which is just, the best running back duo in college that I can personally remember. If you can remember a better running back duo at the college level, please put it down in the comments. But Ohio State expected to roll over Wisconsin, and I'm absolutely super excited to hear it. The Ohio State Buckeyes currently do not have another ranked team scheduled. Of course, things change very, very quickly at the college football level, so you never know who's going to go up in the rankings, who's going to go down, but right now it does look like the Ohio State Buckeyes project to have a very easy schedule for the rest of the way, and if they win out, they will be in that Big Ten championship game. Let's go out, get another Big Ten championship, and more importantly, earn that number 1 overall seed in the college football playoff, a first-round bye, and the opportunity to play the winner of the 8-9 game or whatever that lowest seeded, first, second round of the playoffs will get hopefully a not as strong team as the number 1 seed got in last year's playoffs. But that's what I got for this video. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Buckeyes.